Well, we come back after a couple of brief reports to continue with updates about my family's time in Utah. And today I want to let you know a little bit more about Utah itself and what we learned about Utah. First is simply its natural beauty. Here you see a picture. We went up in the mountains. It's called the Salt Lake Valley because, of course, there's mountains on each side of the valley. And the mountains are just beautiful. They're amazing. One missionary family we were with told us that whenever they went on vacation, they're like, "Why are we on vacation? It's just so beautiful here. We could stay here." And so there's just one of many examples of being up there in the mountains. Here's a picture of my family. Up there in the mountains, there was a nice lake there that we were able to enjoy and go on a walking path there with a missionary family. And so we had a lot of fun there. You also see in this picture, this is late June, early July, everybody. So for those of you who aren't used to seeing snow much past, February or March, here was snow in basically July. And so here we have the kids coming at those of us with cameras, mommy and daddy, with snowballs. Excited that they were able to throw snowballs there with some of the mountain snow. And so it was just beautiful up there. We also see that, of course, you have the Great Salt Lake, well known there as this a large lake there. And so some of my family went to Antelope Island, which is an island you can get to there in the Salt Lake. And so here is a picture taken from the island of the Salt Lake. Again, a pretty high salt content, so you don't have much of anything that lives in there. It's too salty, even though you do have some smaller creatures and animals. But again, this beautiful place to live, natural beauty. Many people go there, so much so that, of course, it's a huge ski attraction in the winter months. And there's no surprise that back in 2002, the Olympics were in Salt Lake City, if you remember. And so the beauty there, skiing all over the place, the mountains, they're just wonderful for the natural beauty. But we not only got to know about the natural beauty, we also got to know a little about the history and the background. And of course, in Utah, you're not going to know much without seeking to understand the Mormon Church, or the formal official name is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So here's my family there in front of the Salt Lake Temple there in downtown Salt Lake City. Of course, you can't enter the temple unless you are a member of the church and worthy, but they still have visitor center, and you can take tours. And so we went on a tour there in that Temple Square area, and we learned more about how the Mormons understand their history, as well as some of their beliefs. And so we were able to spend some time with some female missionaries from around the world while we were there, and that was helpful. We also went to the original Mormon Tabernacle building. There, again, that's one of the world's finest and pipe organs. I forget how many pipes it has, but amazing. We were actually there. We were able to listen to part of a recital that was being performed on the organ. So just a beautiful architectural place there for those of you who love organs and older hymns and music. You would appreciate even the acoustic design of that location. There. And the Mormon Tabernacle no longer generally performs there because they need a larger auditorium or space to perform. But they do occasionally rehearse there, and it's just an amazing place also there on Temple Square. There were, of course, many statues, and here's one of the founding prophet of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. His name was Joseph Smith. And so there's a picture of Joseph Smith as he claimed to restore the one true church on earth with the gospel that had been lost from the great apostasy, which, of course, is what the gospel we hold to. But in that situation, we have Joseph Smith, and he died through Carthage Jail in Illinois. But you have Brigham Young, the second prophet of the church, that takes the church and brings them out west toward what we now know as Utah. And so we also went to a park. It's called the This Is the Place Heritage Park. And that is where we went. That is supposedly the place where Brigham Young, with the caravan of believers that were going with him, he stopped and he said, "This is the place. This is where we're going to develop our community, to stop and live rather than go on further." And so here is a picture of the memorial there that is on the site. There you see Brigham Young up high on the memorial. Now, there's questions about the historical accuracy of what happened there, but still, the general reality is that the second prophet and president of the church, Brigham Young, brought the people out to Utah, which really led them to found what is now the state of Utah. So we spent some time understanding, again, the history of the area, and then we also spent some time down south a little bit in Provo, where we saw the campus there of Brigham Young University, a well-known university that, again, is owned and operated by the LDS Church. And so there's, of course, a lot more I could go into, but I'm out of time for today. And so hopefully that gives you a little bit of background and history and the things that we learned as a family and we're able to see during our time. And tomorrow we'll learn a little bit more about some of the strategic planning that we were able to make and people we were able to see about future ministry opportunities there in Utah.